What a world, you now listening to Talker Brothers Podcast.
Welcome to the Talker Brothers Podcast. Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Talker Brothers Podcast.
Talker Brothers
Podcast with Smash and Go D.
Go D and Smash, you guys doing your thing.
The mic is contacted, I attract clientele.
My brothers.
Go D and Smash, Talker Brothers.
That's poppin'. We ain't worried about nothing.
Y'all are now listening to Talker Brothers Podcast.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Go D.
And it's your boy Smash coming at you.
I want to welcome you guys to another live episode of Talker Brothers Podcast. Today, Smash, we decided to go live, man. Everything's usually pre-recorded, but chopped it up with my boy Reem from the Int Reem Supreme Show. What up, Reem?
What up? Thank you for having me in the building, guys.
Oh, man, stop being formal, bro. Let your head down, bro. Relax. Hey, but we decided, on this one, let's go live and let's chop it up, man, because we hardly ever do live. So it's something different, something new. And with Reem, I love to get when I chop it up with Reem, it's always candid, it's always straight to the point, and it's always good conversation. So it's really good to see what he gonna say live versus behind the scenes when we talk. So welcome to the show, bro.
Same shit, I promise. A lot of the same shit, man. But honestly, thank you for having me on.
Oh, no doubt, bro. So for the listeners, let everybody know about your show, man. Tell us about the International Reem Supreme Show.
Oh, gladly. Thank you. You can check us out on our website, reemsupremeshow.com. We are a hip hop podcast for hip hop heads. I'm not talking about, the snap pop, crackle pop type hip hop. A lot of the hip hop that we're interested in is underground hip hop. From your likes of your Rock Marcianos, your Quilly Chris, your Vic Spencers, your Crime Apples of the world. Shout out to them. But also you're experiencing hip hop in the eyes and the really, should I say, the culture of 40-plus-year-olds. And that's right. Pretty much our demographic. We wanted to shoot for people between the ages of 35 to really 55, because that's really our sweet spot. We find that in that age group, a lot of people kind of get disconnected to the boom bap flavor that was real popular and dominant during the 90s to mid 90s. So we want to help them kind of relish in what's really popping now. That's going to give them that same feel, but going to also introduce them to newer artists, and I think we do a really good job of that.
Yeah, you definitely do. It's definitely some good content, man. And for me, being a hip hop head as well, you always give me the artists that I haven't thought of, or artists that I don't know about, so it's always good to in this digital age, we're gonna say from our day, digging in that crate, we let you dig in that crate and bring me up a gem or two, and it's definitely appreciated. Best appreciated.
Yeah, man. Sure. Thank you so much, man. We're still growing. We're about 18. Actually, we're releasing our 19th episode, so we're not even 25 episodes out yet. But we really enjoy what we do, and we take our time with it. If an album comes out on Thursday, you're not going to hear about it on our next podcast. We take the time to really listen to albums, live with them the same way that you would have to wait to see the Source magazine and see how many mics a person got. Well, it's the same thing with us. So we're not just going to give it one run, because a lot of us been duped when the first time we heard an album, the first couple of times, and then a week later you're like, wait a minute, it wasn't that great, because it was all hype,
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's our sweet spot.
That music hit different in the house, on the earbuds, or in the car. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, at work, you just gotta give it that. You gotta let it marinate a little bit.
Hey, I'm an advocate that the car is the true test.
Yeah,
the car is definitely the true test, man. And I appreciate y'all, because I go through these phases too. But you know what? I listen to music in different ways. If I'm in my office, I have a Sonos in there. In my bedroom, I have a surround sound, so I get more of a bass going from that, right? But in the car, if you make it to the car, you got to earn it, man. You make it to the car, and it's a banger, and then we got something to talk about on the show, for real.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of that. I think for me it's different. I kind of start in the car, or it's like for me, my music opiate starts on Friday nights. Sit down, pour me up a glass, have my playlist together, or have my albums laid out, and then I'm a jam it on Friday night, and then that over the weekend, I'm gonna listen to it in the car, and then by the time I get to the week, I already created a playlist of what I listened to that weekend before, and I'm jamming that all week. So if you make that weekly playlist, then you really had a banger for me.
Yeah, I could see that definitely. You know what? I like to go with the seasons.
Right.
Yeah,
with the seasons.
I do one quarterly, and I'll nickname it. The one I'm on right now is called Winter is Here. That's the one I'm on now. Winter is Here. So when spring come around, I'll create something different. And the reason why I really like doing that is because I use Tidal by Black, and Tidal creates lists. I think they're all doing it now, honestly, but they'll create a most frequently played song list for you. So I started using that, and by the time we're ready to do our end of the year, my playlist helped me to remember who had a banger. You see what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily like I just like this one, but it's really like this was a great song from that album, but this whole album is a banger. So it's a little weird like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we on the same line. We just have different approaches. Because I do the same thing. I have those weekly. Like I have at the end of the year, I have a 52 week playlist at the end of the year, and that keeps me into abreast of what I like and what I don't like. So and people always telling you listen to this, listen to that, listen to this. So I got my list this week. I'm gonna sit down. Can't wait till Friday. Sit down and listen to that list for sure. But
I'm like an executive. You got to get my attention quick. I got you in the car. If you don't get it, that shit out the window, bro. Out the window. On to the next one.
You don't give it a chance. Yeah. If the beat don't hit out the door, you out of there.
Hey, I gotta go. It's too many artists in line. I gotta listen to the next one.
Wait, the way music.
I agree with Smash. I really do. Yo, I threw 808 Heartbreaks out of my sunroof. I threw 808 Heartbreaks out of my sunroof based on Smash approach. Yeah, absolute. And my daughter co-signed it. I was like, yo, I looked in the back seat at it like an 8-year-old, like, yo, you feeling this? And she was like, no. But that's it.
Who cares how much I spent, right?
It was too sad. Even today, I fight that fight, bro. It was a sad album.
Yeah, man. But let's keep with this music theme, man. And let's jump into this Keisha Cold thing, man. Keisha Cold and Ashanti versus finally happened after being put off like 3-4 times and then we had a 90-minute delay once we got it.
I mean, look, man, listen. First of all, I'm not gonna let y'all take shots at the homie like that. Shout out to Ashanti. We show up, you know what I'm saying? We show up. Long Island shows up to show out, and even Teddy Riley had technical difficulties. Who would have thought anyone, Teddy Riley would have to, get his shit right? So you know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, but she apologized for her delays and the different things that happened as far as what went on with the technical difficulties and all that kind of stuff. But it was good to see her and OT Genesis get together and squash their beef. Music brought beef, and then music brought love. So that was definitely. Can you
refresh my memory? I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but I forget shit. Can you refresh my memory on what they beef was even about?
Well, he did a parody of one of her songs.
He also said he sold like dope to her mom.
Yeah, that too.
Because her mom was a crackhead.
that part too. I wasn't trying to go there. Smash took it away.
I'm just saying because her sister came back on and said, like, I don't even understand how you can forgive this dude when he done talked about he sold dope to our mom as a joke. That's not funny. You know what I'm saying? So I see it both ways. You know what I'm saying? I see it on Keisha's side, but I see it on Neffy's side too. You know what I'm saying? You talking about you sell dope to my crackhead mama. I'm already upset my mama a crackhead.
Got my boy BTG in the building. Most definitely, when we have Reem on the show, we got to give some hip hop. It would be blasphemy if we don't talk hip hop with my boy Reem. Got to talk it.
Yeah,
got to.
Absolutely, I'm here for it.
Yeah, but definitely. I mean, for me, man, and with this verses, I'm kind of over it. I don't know where you guys stand with it. I'm over it, man. It's like I'm at this point now. Just it's gonna be a, Keisha Cold or Shantae concert. I enjoy that more than you just telling me they're trying to this music versus this music, because I love them all, man. It's just like telling me, which one of your kids you love the best. I love them all. It depends on what day they piss me off. Which one pissed me off that day? That's a different story. But in general, I love them all.
Nah, man, I like verses, bro. I like it because they tell a little behind the scenes situation of what happened when the song they were creating. But also, man, like it depends on if it's regional to you. Like if it's where you grew up around, and then like you love it because those are the songs that you grew up on. But if it's not really in your region, then you there as a fan and you're like, okay, I want to see it. Like Ashanti, she actually showed me that that she could actually sing, because back in the day there was things that Ashanti couldn't really sing like we thought she could on the vocals, but that night she was singing, and I mean she was doing her thing, and I gave her more props that night.
Hey, Nene said they should have put it off longer. That's what she said. And I kind of agree with you, Nene.
Oh man, that's a trick.
I usually now, I was all pumped for it. The only one I really loved was the one with Lil Jon and T-Pain. They were just like they were wasted, and they just was like camera. They forgot about the cameras was on. They were the homeboys, and they just had a good time with it. Playing music back and forth. But now it's I don't know. It's gimmicky to me now. It's to the point now where I'm like, just give me a concert and I'm good with that. Give me a virtual concert. So, where you at on the Reem? Did he freeze up?
Look like he might have.
The bugs are going live.
That's how it is, man. When you go live, you know what I'm saying? Like
the bugs are going live. See,
back in the day, Jefferson's was filmed in the studio.
Well, I mean, that's basically what we're getting, right? You gotta always keep in mind, like,
oh,
hey, bear with us. It's live, baby.
This is live, definitely.
No edits.
This is what you get. You get what you get. You love it.
I ain't mad at it. It's live.
So what was your favorite Smash? What one did you like the best?
I got to go with you. Well, I do have to go with you with my number one was the Lil Jon and T-Pain, because they were just entertaining. But then being a homer, I got to go with Jeezy and Gucci Mane as a close second.
And see, we talked about that off wax, man. And we for the listeners that don't know, a lot of this content is curated because of me, Smash, and I are usually behind the scenes fussing and cussing with each other. And that one got so heated that we didn't even read back in the building. You good?
Yes, sir. I am here.
All right, let me finish this thought. So we had one with the Gucci and I'm a Gucci fan. I'm a Jeezy fan. He a Gucci fan. So we went back and forth on the relevance of this verses. And the relevance of the verses, I get his point, was more ATL, Atlanta, that region, Southeast region really loved it. And it was that, blah, 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 blah. And so it was a heated argument. So we was like, after we finished the episode, we was like, nah, we can't put that out. That was just over the top.
It was heated.
So where you at with the verses? I know you was giving your thoughts, Reem, for the Gremlins got into your camera.
Yeah, man, motherfucker. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go. Me and Shiny grew up with each other. We were from around the same way. So shout out to all Long Island. I gotta admit though, I wasn't a fan of her musically. I've always been, supportive, yes, but not necessarily a fan. With Keisha Cold, it was pretty much the same thing. I felt like Ashanti made girlfriend side chick music, and I felt like Keisha Cole made side chick baby mama music. And I was going through a lot of baby mama drama at the time. I ain't need all that shit in my life. But I will say this: they both were superstars for a generation in that time frame. You know what I mean? Ashanti has gone on to do Lifetime shows and Christmas albums, and like we was talking about, Keisha Cole was able to spin off and do multiple shows. Even her mama had a show, right? So I don't ever want to forget what the essence of Versus was really, brought to be. It was giving us some form of entertainment while we was all on lockdown,
Right,
and then it grew to be this phenomenon that we really got online. It's to a point where, the social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, they don't know what, as far as the right music and having it to so many millions of people that end up looking at it. So,
right.
For me, since I am a marketing guy, I look at the results of it, and the result of it is outstanding. And those results end up being a check that gets cut to these artists and these producers later on. So there's definitely some money to be made. And then there's some entertainment. My favorite one is RZA versus Primo. It's the closest thing in ways that I could have gotten to seeing a versus like that. Now I've seen like Primo versus Pete Rock, and you've seen other DJs, go against each other. DJ Jazzy Jeff has a show called Vinyl Destination, where he would be overseas rocking shows and basically creating like a documentary style type of let's call it a vlog, right? Like a video vlog or whatever. So at the end of the day, I don't think that it's really outgrown where it could possibly continue to go because of the conditions that we're in. These are the same artists that would be touring right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Valentine's Day. Come on now. We all been out here long enough. Valentine's Day, who always comes through to Houston? Keith Sweat.
Yes. The old school.
Yeah. Music Soul Child. Right?
Yeah.
All these motherfuckers who ain't got somebody at home come through to do a show during these times, right? Ashanti is one of them. Ashanti and John Rule have been to Houston 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean? They come out here, get a bag. So it's the same shit, you know what I mean? But the beauty of it is it's such on a bigger stage. And I bet you at the end of the day that for this time that they're spending doing this versus, they cash out more than if they were, out there sweating, trying to get you to wave your arms and shit. You see what I'm saying? So I think that I think we still got some ways to go with it.
Yeah, I just
and
think
it's not just hip hop. We got Teddy Riley and Babyface. You know what I'm saying? That was huge.
Yeah, it's the pairings are great. I just think the presentation and how it's delivered is kind of old for me now. I just like you saying. I'm used to.
Rick Ross bought the strippers. I don't know what more you want.
Yeah, I can't be
Rick
mad
Ross
at
had champagne and strippers. There's your entertainment.
And wings. So just give me the whole, give me a show. Don't just give me sit around and you sit in a chair, and we just spin records. So like the beef with Gucci and Jeezy, that was, you could feel that through the screen. I want a little more entertainment value for it versus just, you spinning records and just telling me, that at the end of the day, this song was done this way, this song was done that way. That's all good, but I don't know. For me, it's just past this time. But keep it going, singing another song. For those that don't know, Reem is he's actually a political junkie. So he loves politics. So I had to throw something in there, not necessarily political, but something
Yeah,
of
see, but you know, even with the Jeezy.
Oh, we moved backwards, Smash.
Hey, I want to hear what he got to say.
Me too. If the Gremlins get out the daggone camera and the mic, we'll be all right. What'd you say, Reem?
Because
go ahead, Spirit.
No, I was just gonna say I want to hear his part.
All right, I'm still here.
There you go. What you
I'm
have to
still
say?
here. I'm still in the building. We getting the vocals are getting a little choppy, so I just wanted to let y'all know I was still here.
Oh, it's all good.
So, what's your thought before we move on?
We live, baby. We live.
This comes with it.
I'm sorry. What's the question?
What was your final thought on the verses? You were saying something before you cut out.
You said something about Jeezy.
Y'all getting choppy again. I'm losing y'all on the vocals.
What was your thought? Your thoughts on Jeezy and Gucci on their verses? Can you hear us?
Oh, final. Do I get to? Is that for Smash or for me?
That's for you.
That's for you.
That's for you.
We're gonna work this out, people.
Yeah, y'all bear with us.
Oh, my final thought on the verses, man, is I really do appreciate it. You know, we got artists from Teddy Riley to Babyface, from RZA to Primo. I thought it was really dope seeing E40 and Too Short. There's definitely some history, lessons for a younger audience who, may not know the significance of seeing E40 and Too Short in the same room. If they continue to go down, R&B and hip hop the way that they're doing, then I think that we have a bit more of verses to go, and I'm for it, man. I'll take a free concert.
No doubt. Well, if you look at it like that, yeah, I'll take one too. So I take all that I said back. Now that you put it like that. So yeah. You're right.
Rick Ross has champagne and strippers, man. I don't know what more entertainment you want.
Well, some of them was like for me, when Primo and RZA did their thing, right? Like I was geeked about that one because I love Primo and I love RZA. So I was really more Primo than RZA, but that's another story. But when they did it was spinning back and forth. And I was like, you know what? Both of them are repping New York. I wanted to be like the old school, DJs on the block, this DJ versus that DJ, and make it entertaining. You know what I'm saying? It was appreciative to hear the music that they played and understand that, oh, damn, I didn't know he made that, or I know he produced that. But at the same time, make it a show. Give me a show for what we getting off of these verses. But
hey, like I say, Jeezy and Gucci, that was Homer for me. So
man, I felt the tension in my own damn house. Like that shit was weird, and look, man, I'm a social media, I'm online. And you see the footage afterwards, right? And you see, they got armed people, and it's just crazy, man. That at the end of the day, listen, we feel our mission is to bring as much positivity to hip hop because it's just so much negativity associated with it. You know what I mean? And God forbid any more turmoil in this industry. These young kids is getting shot and murdered. And I would just, for one quick moment, just ask y'all to pause and chill and just leave that shit back on wax, man.
Yeah.
Work shit crazy.
That's why it was good to see OT and Keisha Cold squash the beef and celebrate the music of it all. Even though he made a parody of it, but it was still an homage to her. You know what I'm saying? And be able to put the rest of that stuff to the side. So, but let's keep it moving here before the Gremlins tackles Reem's mic again in the camera.
Or mine.
Oh, you lying. Because it's usually you, Smash.
It is.
Come on, 5G. Come on, 5G.
I'm side hating. I'm like, yes.
It's him, right?
Yeah.
Glad it's him, not me this time.
I'll take
like
that.
BTG with Aaron Rodgers.
Yes. Oh, we're gonna get to that too, because I gotta get touched. I gotta get a little football touch in there, because we talked about that off wax. But for those that don't know, Reem is a politic junkie as well as a hip hop junkie, and he,
right.
So I definitely wanted to throw something out there. It wouldn't be Talker Brothers if we didn't talk something black and something that's affecting us. So one of the big things is that's out right now is the fact that Breonna Taylor grand jury filed a petition to impeach Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who is black. 3 grand jurors in Breonna Taylor case filed a petition with the State House of Representatives on Friday, objecting to the conduct, all right, not of the police, but of the Attorney General Cameron of calling for his impeachment. Now, I'm take it away, Reem. It's all you, baby. Take it away.
Look, man, this is it's a dope situation. It's a gen of power and politics at the end of the day. For anyone who lived under a rock during that whole situation, this is the man that was basically responsible for bringing charges against the police officers that were, accused of doing what they did, allegedly. Let's try to keep this as clean as possible, right? So the reason why I say it's power for people, because who would have ever thought that they can do something to change this man's career, to get this man's attention, and more importantly, to bring some form of action against this man. Right. He did a horrible job of handling the case, of providing the right details to the jury. And look, man, if we had one chance to make any civil unjust just, it was that motherfucker right there. So, the fact that again, there's another way to, and I hate to make this about a cat and mouse type of a game, but sometimes in politics that is what it is, and hopefully we can find some type of justice through this action. But at the end of the day, we're never going to feel the satisfaction. I want to make that abundantly fucking clear. Right. We're just not, simply because there's a mucker who got charged with the bullets that didn't hit her. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here. So it's just at the end of the day, it's not a black or white thing. It's the human thing.
Right. The right or the wrong thing. And it's
so,
not too long that situation happened.
Well, then the Gremlins go again.
Okay, I'll stop ranting now. I heard Smash, so I just wanted to stop ranting for just a moment because I was going in. But yeah, man, that's what that's really about. So
go ahead, Smash.
Nah, cause like,
but the shit that's crazy now though is. Now you go ahead, Smash.
We pushed that button.
You keep going. Keep going, man.
Keep going, man. You push that button, Smash.
I was gonna say with the brother who, who got up and did that. Now I'm gonna take off my normal hat on Talker Brothers, but I'm gonna say, that the dude, now everybody realizing who he was. Like, he showed his true colors, which at that time wasn't his black color of his skin. You know what I'm saying? Like, he showed his true colors. He was politicking. He was doing all that for politics, not for what was right, which when you're in that position that he's in, you should be doing that for what is right, because that's why you were put in that position, to fight for other people that don't have the opportunity or the means to fight for that right. You know what I'm saying? So they put you in that position. He was trying to politic because he's a black Republican. It might be, ironic or whatever, but he's a black Republican, and he showed his true colors. He was trying to impress Trump and that administration, in my opinion. And now that it's backfiring, even his white counterparts that were so-called his friends and supporting him during that altercation, or that's a word for better, like a word that I can think of right now. But they are starting to realize, like, dude, you were wrong. So in the black community, yeah, he was labeled as Uncle Tom, no doubt. But the white people are starting to see that now, and now they like, you know what, like, this dude was wrong, because as the case keeps unfolding with Breonna Taylor, it keeps unraveling and unraveling. They keep pulling on that thread, and that fabric just keep unraveling, and they realizing that it was something wrong done here. You know what I mean?
But it's kind of, I'm on both sides of that, and it's just like you are a black man, and you know our struggles, and it shouldn't even have been. If it cost you your job, if it cost you your job, then you do the right thing. And that's where it fell apart. Definitely what you're saying on the political portion of it, of that he thought about his career more than he thought about a black life lost, to like the way that it was lost. And you should have fell on the sword doing the right thing. But this is something that, for me, on the other side, we're not looking at the other attorney generals that preside over these different states and these different areas, that the same stuff is happening, but this is just this brother is being publicized for his wrongdoings. I hadn't seen an article about the attorney general from Minnesota, attorney general from any other city, but he's being casted out. You're looking at just get away from politics. Looking at sports, and you see these white coaches getting fired. Well, they're getting fired, but how are they labeling it? They label it as he was let go. But the one black coach, it says he got fired. So it's how the package is being presented, and that's what rubs me wrong with this. Yes, he did some. What he did was just totally stupid. But how it's being presented to the masses, and how we are looking at it, and how we consuming it, how they're giving us this narrative, that's what's pissing me off more than anything. Because at the end of the day, now we're taking away from the actual thing that happened, was Breonna Taylor losing her life unjust. And that's what the folly of it all. And this is what they're doing in the media, trying to draw you away from what actually happened, caused this man to do the things that he did, trying to weigh his political career and his blackness. And he chose his political career over his blackness. And it's coming back to now who you thought was your friends are not your friends. Because as soon as something happened, they're saying, oh, it's bigger than me, so
D can go D.
It's sad, but it's true. Sad but true, But
I feel that.
Reem, you get the every segment, Reem, you get the last thought, bro. Go.
Yeah. So kind of listening to you and feeling your vibe on that, man. I definitely understand where you're coming from. I will say this much, just playing devil's advocate for a moment. I try to look at everything as open-minded as I possibly can.
Right.
That man was really under a lot of pressure. He probably never felt any pressure like that before in his career. That's one. Not to shift gears, but just as an example, the mayor, who was she? The governor in Michigan was about to get kidnapped. Like, motherfuckers was really going to run up on this woman and kidnap her.
Right.
And luckily they got caught, and I would have to say, man, being a person who worked in corporate America for a standard time, shit always rolled downhill.
Right.
And the bigger the position that you may have publicly, there's someone on top of you that's stronger and can shit on you more than anything else. So, you got the chain of command. You got the public, you got motherfuckers probably threatening your life and threatening your family and showing up in front of your crib all of a sudden. It's hard for some men to stand tall sometimes, and that doesn't give him an excuse to do what he did, because you're gonna burn either way, man. So for me, the one thing that keeps me sleeping real comfortable is knowing that I was 100 all day today. Exactly. No matter what decision that came, and my L's, a lot of my L's ain't losses, man. A lot of my L's are learning experiences, and I wouldn't be able to speak on the things that I can so passionately. So and again, that's just playing devil's advocate. I'm not saying that this motherfucker had any rights in his wrong because he don't. Fortunately, unfortunately, you chose a position that when you had the hot potato in your hand, you fumbled, and it's fucked up. What happened to that woman is incredibly wrong to a human life, yo. And for them to be able to walk, because at the end of the day, man, look, man, if these dudes caught the same amount of time and charges that we caught, we wouldn't have a problem. We wouldn't have anything to say. But here it is, another black man, and I'm sorry for forgetting your name, but my man, he got shot after trying to get into his vehicle with his child, after trying to break up a fight with a white woman. He was unarmed. Now he's paralyzed. He survived. He's paralyzed now. And the state was like, nah, but they didn't even pick up on the charges. So,
right.
My last word on it is, like my mother told me a lot of our parents and oldest said in our culture, what you do in the dark come to light.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get it one way or another.
Yeah, it's going to come. The truth will set you free, or it will.
Should have stood tall, nigga. You getting the same burn, right? Like you getting the same burn, so you should have just stood tall.
I just hope that I wish there was an opportunity that you had somebody of color in that DA's office to do the right thing, and he just dropped the ball. You know what I'm saying?
We had a person of color who was a DA that's now a vice president. Stand tall.
Right. And well, that's for another conversation, Reem. We need to tackle that too. That's coming.
Hey, we just gonna celebrate right now. What's next? Now, I don't want y'all to diminish what this lady has accomplished, because you know what I'm saying. We on something. So let's what's next?
Nah, she just got on the playing field, bro. She ain't even get her jersey dirty yet. She just got on the playing field.
Another show, Reem. Another show.
Yeah, my bad.
We're gonna move this thing along, and this is something that we all three of us are married, and we all trying to find ways of keeping that significant other happy, So, and we definitely want the viewers and the listeners to chime in on this one and give us your ideas and your thoughts on dating during COVID. Trying to find all these different ways to not only be safe, but to also keep that person that you love happy and keep that fire going while we're in these tumultuous times right now, which we call in COVID, So,
man,
what's some ideas, man? What's some Reem? I know Reem, you was really like, man, this is tough. Where you stand on this, Reem?
It's hard out here for a pimp, y'all. Telling you, look, man, I've always dated my wife. My grandfather told me, when you get married, remember to treat her like your girlfriend. Definitely one of the best pieces of advice I got in pertaining to my marriage. So we like to go out, you know what I mean? And like Christmas, for instance, Christmas was very weird because normally it's gifts and time with the family, and then you hang out with your adult friends after hours, may catch a drink at the bar, whatever you celebrate, right? Well, we didn't get to do that this year. My kids, my youngest son is homeschooling. My two older children are going back and forth to school. But even for them, their lifestyle is very trimmed and compared to what they were able to do, a year and a half ago, right? So we try to be extremely careful. What I mean by that is when we do go out, man, it's not as frequent, which puts a strain on the relationship, because when you're used to going out to eat, twice a week or whatever it may be, and now you're not even doing that, it puts a strain. But we have kind of like these set rules that we do. I don't know about y'all, but we'll go into a place. If we can't speed count how many heads we see in there, then we'll walk out. We pull up on a parking lot, and the parking lot looks too full. We ain't even wasting our time. We don't get out. So what I found over this past weekend in one of these attempts to have this date was now a lot of my favorite spots are closed down.
Right.
So, I'm downtown the other evening, and you know, the restaurants that were right by House of Blues. Y'all know what I'm talking about downtown?
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know Houston, but yeah,
I'm in Houston, so I definitely know with Smashes.
Right.
I'm
That's
all
right.
over.
My bad. I forgot. So, so D, you know what I'm talking about when you're downtown by House of Blues, you have all the restaurants right there in the middle.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like all of them are gone.
Gone, yeah. It's
You know
a
what
few
I'm saying?
spots here that the wife and I frequented when we want to get out, you know what I'm saying? And then those spots are not there anymore, you know what I'm saying? So you're trying to revamp on how you going to go out on a date, you know? So it's just more of, and the thing about it is you're trying to be respectful of one, because where I am with COVID, my tolerance for COVID and her tolerance for COVID is two different tolerances. You know what I'm saying? She has zero tolerance. And I'm probably somewhere like 60-40. You know what I'm saying? I still want to do I'm more of an if it's outdoors, I'm with it. But if it's indoors, I'm out, you know. But so for her, it's like she's not with it at all. You know, so you're trying to find ways, make a movie night, you know, just get in the car, let's just go take a ride, let's go drive down to Galveston, or do something where
you ride down to Galveston?
But anything, man, anything to you can have a chance to get a conversation going and just being away from the norm. Because this norm that we in, man, is, you know, you get to the mood swings, man. Someday you wake up, you're like, man, it feels good to be here today. And then sometimes you're like, man, I'm tired of this house. I'm sick of being in this house, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I got a whole route. So I'm on the west side of Houston, right? I got a whole route, bro. I slide through downtown. I slide through parts of Memorial. I go through some neighborhoods. Like I got a whole Mario racing kart route around Houston right now, bro. Plus, I really do enjoy driving. So I don't really complain much about that. Yeah, man. So you know, a dope album and a sunroof ride could definitely take some tensions off that.
No doubt.
But then again, like, so we're married, right? So we got people that we can actually touch. Now, one of the things that I have because of the situation with COVID is I don't touch people and I don't expect for you to touch me. So I don't give you dap, I'll give you salute. I don't play the elbow shit. So I can only imagine if I wanted to date this girl, you know, first of all, when I see you, can I holler at you? Like, can I holler at you in the street? You know what I'm saying? If I was to see you, like you got your mask, I got my mask, and you know, let's say we're walking out of a strip center and I see you, like, is it okay to try to approach you? Or is people so scary? Like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah. You ain't touching people. I think, like, for me, man, I've been married 21 years now.
Get it right.
Yeah. So like me and my wife, we ride or die, and like we've learned, like, she get her space, I get my space. So we cool with that. But COVID has just kind of did something, man. Like, because like my space, like now I'm looking at her like, damn, I just want to watch this show with you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let y'all in on something. I got a little ratchet show I watch. Ratchet show.
What's that?
It's Love After Lockup. I don't know if y'all seen it. It's Love After
Lockup. What network?
I think it's on. Damn, it's not on TLC. It might. I had to get you.
It's one of them soft channels, though, right?
Yeah.
One of the off-brand networks.
But what happened is, like, you know, somebody, male or female, because it varies. They've been to jail, and somebody was loving them while they were locked up. Man, we was watching. You know what I'm saying? We watching. But we had our
stories from the hood, man. That shit is funny.
We had our COVID time. Oh yeah. Oh, Candace told it's We TV. We TV. That's what it is.
Yeah, what I'm soft
So they all the same.
we sitting there like we watch this together. Like No matter what time of night it is, we watching it together. I got my oldest daughter in there too, watching with her. And then the other day, like she doing her Lifetime thing. I'm down here doing my sports thing. Then I come upstairs and she like, oh, we watching Love After Lockup. And I didn't say nothing, but inside I was like, without me?
Without me?
I felt like doing a TikTok or something, like some type of lonely TikTok or something. Cause I'm like, y'all, what? My heart dropped, bro. Y'all watching it without me? Like, what's going on? Like, I thought this was our thing. This was our COVID thing right here. You know what I'm saying?
What? I'm gonna go ahead and go out there. All right, let me come out there with you. All right. So me and my wife, we watch Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, and them dudes, right? The late night dudes.
Right.
But we watch them on YouTube, right? So we can always catch it in the morning or whatever it may be. We call it funny news. And straight up, man, like, you know, it's almost like a threat in here, like, yo, don't make me go downstairs and watch funny news. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'll give you something different though. So our anniversary is coming up. I'm the typical husband. I'm face down in my phone, yeah, babe, whatever you want, wherever you want to go. And then last minute, I'll be like, nah, I don't even like that room, and be trying to switch shit up, right? So one time, I actually helped plan a vacation. It was for my birthday with the Dominican Republic. And I realized how hard of a job, like it's a job trying to plan a vacation.
Yeah.
Now, imagine trying to do this shit around COVID, right? So we're looking at these different ideas, and God bless her heart, she's finding tree houses for us to stay in. I swear to God, I will send you the link if you think I'm bullshitting. She found luxury tree houses, my G, that we can stay in that has no microwave, no Wi-Fi, and no TV, right? $500 a night. I'm telling you now, so you ain't got to take a shot. It's a luxury fucking tree house.
Thank
right?
you.
And then
I appreciate you.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna send you the link.
Because I'm sitting here Googling as you speak. Thank you. Okay, I was trying to see how much
The
that
shit
costs.
is fly. I wish I knew the name off the top of my head. I'm gonna hit y'all off. Y'all can post about it and we'll laugh about the shit together. One of the other ideas was about going to Denver because it's 420 friendly. And my thing is like, if it's as simple as keeping my face covered and keeping my distance from people until I get from point A to point B, I'm sure I can do that. But once we're there, what happens? You know what I'm saying? Like we went to San Francisco summer 19 and had a ball just going in and out of places and trying this wine, trying that wine. But when you see the death toll in America is over 400,000 deaths, and you've watched it, because I'm the political junkie, I've watched this number go from 100,000 to 400,000.
Right.
It's a little difficult for me to kind of put that energy into saying, yeah, I even want to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Because low key, I was just happy to be here. Because last March, I was like, holy shit, the world did not go outside, my G. You know what I'm saying? That's first time shit crazy.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at with it. It's like I'm still leery of indoor activities. You know what I'm saying? Just mass indoor activities, like going to the grocery store, I'm masked up, and I'm like, they ride down the aisle, I see 2-3 carts, let me turn around, go the other way. I'll come back to this. I'll get this later. So outdoors, I'm really good with the outdoors thing, but it's hard, man. It's hard. And I listen to shouts out to all my single friends because it's hard on them. You know what I'm saying? Not just because we have the social, we have the kids, we have our wife. We get tired of each other. We can go to our separate ways and go to separate rooms. But when we want, some entertainment or want to conversate, we have somebody. But for them, they got phones. It's so much of this they can take. Like they want that, that physical touch. Let's be grown here. They want that physical touch, and it's kind of hard to get that in these kind of times. If you don't have that list of people already planned out before pre-COVID, it's kind of hard to build that roster back up, while you're going through this pandemic. So
yeah, you gotta get someone you could trust, and that's on both sides. You got to get someone you could trust. I would say to just watch that person, and you watch that person by having a relationship, by having a conversation. I don't mean physical, you know. I look, man. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I put my friends on timeout. You know, if I see my man been out to too many places, because everybody put their business on social media, and I have a group of friends. I'm not going to single anybody out, but look, man, I got a group of friends. I be watching y'all on the book, man, and
doing too much.
Y'all the reasons why we don't hug. You know what I'm saying? Like.
He mad.
Yeah, I feel his pain, bro. I literally feel his pain because it's like we'll never get out of this if y'all just chill. And I understand you gotta have. I'm a social being too. You know what I'm saying? I like to be social. I like to be out and doing these things, but I know my limitations. So my social endeavors are in a public space. It's got to be outdoors. It's got to be public, and I gotta be. That's the way I gotta have it. If other than that, I can't do it, but I can't knock somebody who's single, and I don't know how it feels to be behind closed doors 24/7. It's just you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that social interaction. So when you get a chance to get out there, sometimes they go overboard. But I feel
I'm gonna let you interview Taraji for that piece. We're gonna do another show, and Taraji gonna be able to fill you with all that shit right there because you know that's the lifestyle that he has. But not to make fun of him, but it's just so easy to do it. You know, for a lot of people that's like that, you know, they're comfortable, you know, being in their own skin. They're comfortable with being alone. And it's not even as much as being an introvert. It's just, hey, I'm good in this space. But you're right. There's a lot more people that's cracking up over the lack of community. The lack of, you know, going outside and doing what they do. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So question from Candace. Why don't people follow the signs in the grocery store? And
so
I try.
That's like my pet peeve. That's like my pet peeve.
Oh, I'm with you 110%. I'm with you with that.
And I want to go to, because I got this thing, man. I wake up Walmart is like 5 minutes away from me. So I go to Walmart on the weekend. That's like, you know how some people get up and take a walk or walk the dog? I go to Walmart just to walk around the aisle to wake up. You know what I'm saying? Because like-minded people shop at the same time. So like if I go there like 6, 7 in the morning, like-minded people are with me. We want to get in before all the crazies get in, right?
For the COVID get high. For the COVID level get high.
Exactly.
Yeah, COVID level. I'm with that word.
So what pisses me off is that you got the damn Walmart workers in the middle of the aisle, blocking the aisle because they're trying to give it to the people that's pulling up in the drive-thru or whatever you want to call it. They hand their grocery. First of all, y'all shouldn't be pulling the groceries during the time that people are shopping. Y'all are closed or whatever. If you want to pull from 12 to 6 a.m., that's when y'all should be pulling the thing. I want to call corporate and say, I can fix this problem right now because I'm a consumer and I'm off.
Candace, you didn't push your son, you didn't push your brother button right on this.
All I want to know is she referring to the spaces that the directional spaces, like you could go up this aisle and down this aisle, or she talking about the spaces where you're waiting on the machine?
Everything.
All that, bro.
I'm trying real hard with the directions because I want to follow these directions as much as I can. Listen, man, I use Instacart as much as I possibly can. But there are those times. So I'm not the dude waking up in Walmart. That's him. I would rather order my shit and not have to go in there because but I'll make this one confession. My spending habits haven't changed, and it's fucked up. So I'm the flyest nigga at Walmart, hands down, because I gotta wear it somewhere, right? So I be at Walmart, Target, Sutton, Polo, all that shit down, bro. Down, New J's, all that shit.
Yes. Yes, man. Speaking of that,
I'm so New York. My shirt got to say somewhere, bro. I swear to God.
you got all this closet of clothes. You like your wife looking at you like, are you really putting that on? Where am I also aware? Going to the grocery store. I gotta put this on.
Yo, it's dude, it's everywhere. Like I'm not playing, man. Like, yo, and the funny shit is, it's like Christmas to me. Like I get excited though when I'm getting a T-shirt. So,
hey,
my wife can't really argue with me in this one.
I will say this, because how you dress to go to the store, I love that now, because I used to see so many females in there with their bonnets on in the store.
Oh, don't
so
start.
I'm glad now that they dress up, because I hate bonnets. I hate bonnets.
Wait. I don't even know if I noticed that. Are they stunning too?
Yes.
No, they're not. Yeah, they stunning. They're
all
not wearing the bonnets no more.
We all walking through the grocery store checking each other fit out. That's live. That's nice.
Hey,
I've been going to the grocery store,
talk.
walking down the aisle, and the lady asking the other chick, "So where did you buy that from?" That don't happen in the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? But that happening.
Put them bonnets on.
2002, 2003. Shout out to my man out in DC. My man Keenan used to call me. He used to live a few blocks away. He would call me before he go to Walmart, and I would go hang out with him at Walmart. And I was going strictly for the ladies. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I would leave. Okay, I'm putting all my business out in the street. I would leave my girl, right? I got a family at home, right? I hated her. And I would leave her to go to Walmart with Keenan to go steal a Source magazine and look at bitches. Well, excuse me, I'll just say bitches, I don't know your name. But I would look at all the women up at Walmart, because you got to understand, at this moment, I'm fresh out of New York. So being the fact that you even look my way and I don't got a job excites me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so hard to get rhythm from a girl on the East Coast. Like, you got to be a ball player or some superstar. You know, I moved down here and it was like, you know, oh my gosh, he said, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't happen.
Right.
So, yeah, there was a time in my life I was going to Walmart to window shop, in a sense, and get a magazine.
A good read and a good woman. That's what you was after, huh?
No, I was after a good read and a good walk, because my man would be food shopping and we'll be kicking it like how we right now. We would be up and down the aisles kicking it, but you know, my head is steady, you know, every chance I got, because look, man, I had a conversation with my son. My son would be 16 and he'd be 17 this year. And he went to Atlanta for the first time to go visit a friend. This is his first time, you know, taking a plane by himself, all that shit, right? So he's like, Dad, you know, the girls out in Atlanta, like, they all of them just thick and then. I was like, yo, bro, Atlanta got them. Don't get me wrong, but Houston would never, ever run out of bad, you know, women, man. So shout out to Houston and all the women out here, man, because look, I've been to Miami, LA. I be out there comparing real hard, man. That's one of the things I love about living here in the city is we're such a melting pot of different, you know, cultures. You got people from all over the place out here, man. New Orleans in the building, people out of Michigan, Chicago, Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? At the time, you know, BC, you could really get out there and mix up. You know, I mean, I really miss going to places like Alley Cat, you know what I'm saying, on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Hey,
shout out to the Waxaholic.
Atlanta will have a regular dude. When I say regular dude, you can scale 1 to 10, whatever your number is for a regular dude. They have him thinking what I call Shamar. I know it's Shamar Moore, but I call him Shamar.
Oh Lord!
So you did right by yourself. In that Atlanta vision, because that's a different vision.
What you call it, Atlanta vision?
Yeah, you can't get caught up in that vision, bro.
Hey, so let's get into some more music, man.
We got
Reem. No doubt. Well, we got Reem on the hook, man. So we want to touch on this top 5 data on live, man. And I can't have you on. I can't go without you having you on wax without giving your I'm gonna say today's 5 because it could be tomorrow. It could be a whole different 5, right, Reem?
It doesn't change too much. My last two are usually the ones that switch every now and then. And and it's cool because what I had to learn through my top 5 journey, and I say it that way, not from me placing my top 5, but listening to other people. There was a time where I would argue with you about your top 5. You would say,
Right.
blah 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 blah. You may throw Ludacris on there, and I would be like, Ludacris, like, and I would debate you on your 5, and then one day I just, had this light bulb go off and realized, like, yo, you know, people's top 5 are real personal to them. You know what I mean? So you can't really argue.
Right.
There's always a healthy debate about it and why. How did you get there? So one of the things that we're doing on the International Reem Supreme Show, we're blessed to have the opportunity to talk to real rappers, real MCs that got catalogs. You know what I'm saying? That are really dope, and talk to them about their top 5. Then talk to them about the top 5 MCs that you would have considered a GOAT in a particular time frame, right? So right now we're building content for 95 to 2002. You may be your top, but based on cultural impact, lyrical content, and longevity, now who's your top 5?
Yeah, and that's always
it changes the whole discussion for that time frame.
Yeah, it does. It does. Because a
Because
lot of times it's always somebody you hit.
Right now.
Top 5. Go ahead, Rick.
Let me get that 5.
So right now, my top 5 that I would give you tonight is just based on overall. It doesn't have to do with these categories that we're doing on the show. And the reason why we want those categories is because our goal is to crown the God MC of these 5 different eras. So,
right.
But overall, man, I am a huge Big Daddy Kane fan. I would name him number 1. Simply because Kane was everything I wanted to be as a kid. His rhymes. He had the jewelry, he had the girls. He was the epitome of what a rap star was. At the same time, I would later learn that he had knowledge of self, and he was applying a lot of Islam mathematics in his lyrics. And to me, that just made him even more of a dope MC that he can fit in this culture within his lyrics. I love Rakim. Rakim is from Long Island, and I always want to rep with home team, but I'm a Big Daddy Kane fanatic first, so I would have to say Kane is 1, and Rakim would be 1A, whatever. My number 2 is Redman. I'm a huge Redman fan. The reason why I picked Redman is because throughout all of the years that he's been popping since like 92, he's been able to rock a party. And with Redman, you get a Redman brand album. If you listen to everything from, I would say everything from There's a Dark Side to Practice, it's the same album, the same skits, normally almost the same production from Eric Sherman and Rockwilder. So you get a branded album.
Right.
I mean, that's all. It's not firm to different styles. Shit happens to come down the pike as the generation grows. So Red is number 2. Black Thought is number 3. I think it's just self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? Again, another MCs from back in the day. You'll be really hard pressed to find a whack lyric from Black Thought, and his range is so broad. You know what I mean? He could kill you about being an African king, or he could kill you about being
about killing
gangster Philly. So
that's it. That's
word, or about killing you. Point blank simple. My number 4 is Jay, of course. Jay is just incredible to me. His wackest album are most people's success, man, and I really appreciate Jay. My 5th, My fifth is Ghostface. Ghostface Killah is my fifth.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
The reason why I picked Ghost is because
Not Ray.
put a whole team. He carried. Nah, but
Not Matt.
Ghostface has a better catalog by far. Like, you gotta understand, like, these dudes are nice, but they don't have the catalog that Ghost has. Ghost made albums with a live band called Bad Bad. Are they called Bad Bad Good? I think it's the name of the band. That was really dope. He did a really dope project with Apollo Brown called the Brown Tape, or the Brown Paper Bag Tape, I think it was called. So much of his catalog, his classic shit is Wu-Tang, but his real dope shit is stuff that he's done outside of Wu-Tang. I mean,
right.
Even the album that him, Inspector Deck, and these other two MCs, because Inspector Deck is part of a group called Czarface, and they did a collabo album with Ghostface is really banging too. So that album came out like maybe 3 years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago. So he's still fresh. His pen is.
Gotcha.
People, whose pen has been through now at this point.
Yeah,
Right. That's still relevant. I get that. That's definitely still relevant. Smash, what's your 5 looking like? I'm gonna go last.
Man, my 5 ain't nowhere near Reem. So I'm gonna put this PSA out there right now. Reem, like I was born in Nashville, Tennessee, raised in Stone Mountain, Georgia. So the heart of the South. So I'm gonna say this. I'm putting this PSA out there. Like I'm a product of my environment.
He said Stone Mountain, Georgia. They don't have hip hop in Stone Mountain, Georgia. They got
we got.
They ain't got MF Doom out there.
But I like growing up. I don't know. I was a product of my environment. I really didn't mess with East Coast. Like East Coast was a thing. Like in high school, it was like the New York cats had their own little table that they sat at lunch. And I'll tell you this, I'm gonna point this out right here real quick. Swiss Beats
I see the picture already, fam.
Swiss Beats and Akon's brother, they went to my school. So I knew Swiss personally, but I didn't take it. But that was my ignorance too, as I look back on it. So because a lot of East Coast dudes were spitting that flame. So with that said, because I had to put that PSA out there, and this isn't in any order, but here's my list. I got Pac because Pac resonated with me. You know what I'm saying? Pac just he spoke to what I was good with. Then it took me a while, like not at first, but as I got older, Jay-Z started spitting it. I wasn't with him when the streets is watching. I thought that shit was whack. But as I got older, I went back and I'm like, oh, okay, I see where you're coming from, Jay-Z. And here's where I get like
Southern.
Yes. Product of my environment.
It's Southern. I know it's coming.
I like Jeezy. I'm not saying he's a lyricist or nothing like that, but his ad libs and his delivery and what he talked about was just what I known, what I seen every day. Not saying I was living that life, but the people around me were living that life.
I was so mad to miss his first album, man.
Yeah,
I was so mad that I missed his first album. There were so many drug dealers in the game that I didn't believe Jeezy was official. And Houston, yo, man, oh my God, that summer, yo, all the slabs out here, the dude, Jeezy had Houston in a chokehold. And I knew it was raw when he came out. I think it was for All-Star. It was either All-Star or for the Super Bowl. Him and T.I. did a show at one of the clubs out here. And every girl knew his B-sides. They knew the gun shit.
Yeah.
And I was ignoring it. So I felt some kind of way that there's girls with Black and Miles and Hennessy like Jeezy. I was like, So yeah, I'll give you that one, bro.
Yeah. And then, you know what I'm saying? I gotta, you know, I would put me and D's boy in there, but he's in the top 10 T.I., but he didn't make my top 5. Scarface really, the Diary album, I had that on cassette. I had the cassette tape, and I played that. Along with Key Sweat. So I had my hard side and I had my soft side. That, you know what I'm saying? So
I love it. I love it. You know what? I don't think you're a true hip hop head if you don't have one Scarface album that you like.
Yeah. And here's where my East Coast New York came in, because this is the first East Coast guy ever that I liked. And this was because, and this is why I told my sister Candace to stay in. It's a blast from the past. She dated this Pretty Ricky dude. You know what I'm saying? Pretty Ricky is what they call me. His name was Nico. Now, I know you watching, Candace. You know Nico. But Nico took me to Georgia Tech University, and I got to see the great KRS-One speak in front of us. And I was like, this brother is deep. This brother is deep. And I listened to that dude, and that was my, when the people talking about being woke, that's when I got woke, when I heard KRS-One in person. And then I started listening to his albums. I was like, this dude is on something. And that's why I put in my top 5, because lyricists can't, to me, nobody can really mess with KRS-One because he spit so much knowledge, man. Like, he was rapping about stuff that made me go look up shit. Like, he said word, or he said something, and I was pulling, because back then we all had encyclopedias. We ain't had Google. So we pulled out encyclopedias and looking at what KRS-One said, you know what I'm saying?
So that's my top 5. Get that old dictionary out.
Right. That's my top 5.
But you know, man, that's why my top 5 changed so much, is because if you were, taken aback at that moment, imagine hearing my philosophy when you're in elementary school. You know what I'm saying? Hearing Cool G rap before you even hit junior high school. These are the dudes who videos were being played on the local stations out in New York. So, I had, BDP albums, during this time. So I know about Edutainment and a lot of the other albums that came out after that, especially the work that he's done when him and Primo ever got together. It was always a fucking smash. So for me, it's always a toss-up between Biz Markie, KRS-One, and Big Daddy Kane and Rakim, simply because the 4 of them has such an impact on me at such a young kid. But my mom walked in on me listening to Anything Goes when it comes to hoes, because pimping ain't easy. Because I was able to, you know what I'm saying? I'm 8, 9 years old. I was able to get my hand on that tape and keep it from whoever it belonged to. You know what I'm saying? So those are the song lyrics that I knew. So I would have to give it to Kane over KRS-One. But, again, anybody that is of the culture and knows better, it will always, I think, be a coin flip. I would throw LL Cool J in there too. Going back to verses, I got excited when I saw KRS-One talking about how he could body LL.
That'd be a good one.
It'll be a good one.
That'd be a good one.
It'll be a good one. I won't say he'll body L, but I think it'll be a good one.
I might put LL against Jada.
Now, if you do that versus, I'm in from beginning to end, and we're gonna just get up and grab a mic, and then we're gonna battle each other for an hour. So, I'm definitely in on that, 100%.
Nah, I might put LL against Jada because they both lyricists. Because LL is an underrated lyricist.
I know if Jada would take that challenge.
It's different genres, though. It's different genres. You know what I mean? As far as decades, I guess.
I know, but I still wonder if LL would take that challenge. I wonder if he would take that challenge.
Do you see what I'm saying, though? Do you see what I'm saying, though? Like, I think LL can hang with Jada, though.
Yeah.
I think he could, too.
he's underrated. I think because LL is always underrated because he was right behind DMC, and DMC was so early in the game that he was like the next up. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like from where we are, we watched the culmination of it all throughout, through if you were in late 70s, the 80s, going to the 90s. So LL was in that early 80s time frame. So it's kind of like his game is lost over time. But if you go back and actually listen to it, you'll understand that he has bars that ranks up there with all the greats. But he just
so I'm gonna say this:
pink cookies in a plastic bag. That's crazy.
LL get underrated because I Need Love. He was the first rapper to make a love song. Basically,
no, that is not why he gets underrated at all. Absolutely not.
You don't think? Oh, hey, we gonna pause because I want D to get out of this vibe, but we might have to come on your show, Kareem, because I need to hear your part.
Oh man, we can discuss that. If we got time, I promise I can sew that up real quick. Let me do it real quick before we get into his five. It's not, because you got to remember LL had some monumental battles after the release of that song. He had the battle with Kool Moe Dee. He had the battle with Ice-T, and then he would reclaim his throne again by a controversial win against Cannabis. I'll say it that
Cannabis. Yeah.
See, we're gonna stop there. Now tie it up because that win was not controversial, but that's for a whole other show.
Oh, fuck out of here! If it wasn't,
it wasn't controversial.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
It wasn't controversial,
listen,
we'll do a whole other show about that because I have my take on why that's not controversial. Because he's throwing in the towel.
We're gonna stop it there.
But let me drop my top five real quick. Rakim, number one. Rakim was like, when it comes to hip hop, Rakim was that first girlfriend for me. You know what I'm saying? That was the first tape that I got to hear when I was allowed to listen to rap. Well, when I was introduced to rap, let's say that was the first.
Do you remember which album it was? The title of the album?
Paid in Full.
Paid in Full. Okay.
Paid in Full, right? And that was on cassette. And I just remember me and my cousin sitting there and just rewinding that tape over and over and over. Like we were, you heard the DMCs, you heard the LLs, but you didn't when that was just something with the rhyme schemes. Like it got from the he was actually giving you a rhyme scheme versus just the normal what you heard from everybody else. But that was number one for me. He always
had Mahogany on it, right?
Yep. It had
Mahogany.
You can't. He has so many, and then even throughout his other albums as well, man. It's just like he has something for you, no matter what. He gonna spit knowledge to you. He can spit street still. He can spit street game to you. He had it all, man, and that will always be my first love. Second, it would be Scarface. Well, no, let me take that back up. Second would be Tupac. Tupac is if you knew me. You listen to Tupac, that was the canvas of my life. Everything that he said and everything that he did, that was the picture of what I went through as a kid, and I can relate. That was something it had me to understand that I'm just not out here doing this by myself. There's other people out there in the world that's living through what we living through. You know what I'm saying? So that played.
Would you admit that Tupac picked a lot of trash ass beats on this album?
Yes, I can admit that. But
okay, we can be friends. We're good.
But for him, it's just like you kind of overlooked it because you always wanted to reach out and hear the message what he had to say. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of overlooked it. But
true indeed. I'll give you that.
Number 3 is Scarface, King of the South. And I don't care what T.I. say. I don't care what nobody else says. Scarface is the King of the South. Period. Yeah. Point blank for me. You said, Reem, there's nobody out here who can't. If you don't have one Scarface in your catalog, something's wrong.
At least one, man. At least one. Because you know what my one is. My one is Demetrius. That's my one.
I don't have just one. I have tons.
Yeah, I know, right? I can't hear it.
No, but I mean, as far as albums, like what Scarface put out, like maybe 7, 8 albums, maybe.
The Diary showed his work.
The Diary, you got Emeritus.
I mean, he got plenty more, but
it's so many.
Yeah, because a lot of people will argue that The Fix is one of his top three.
Hey,
we want to chop it down like that.
Scarface sold it up for all the hard dudes, manly mans, whatever you want to say, when he said, "I never seen a man cry till I seen a man die." That line right there, like, that was real, because you realize no matter how hard you was, when somebody die, like, that's when you're most vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. And that was and that album, the album you speak of, I know it resonates more for us because that album came right on the peak of our adulthood. We weren't teenagers anymore. We were actually on our own, being adults, and that was like, you got to understand what that meant. You know what I'm saying? You got to see that the people in your neighborhood go to jail, people in your neighborhood die, and it played right at a peak of our existence, where it was a story that it was telling a story for you, and that's the thing about Scarface. That's the thing about Tupac, that it was always telling that story of what's going down. You know, if you didn't know what was going on in the black neighborhood, you could drop them. You could drop NWA. You could drop those type of dudes, and they'll tell you what's going on, whether you want to listen or not. The story was being told. It just didn't. You know, those that weren't like us, they just didn't want to hear it. You know, they thought we were being rebellious and just being ignorant, but we were really telling you, hey, there's a problem. You know, so that's big for me. Number 4, J. Cole. And J. Cole.
Okay.
Wow.
From the time the dude dropped to now, and it's just my bias. All right, let me totally tell you, this is my bias. I haven't heard a bad song from J. Cole. You can name an album, you can name a song. I've always listened to J. Cole's album from front to back, and for me, I haven't heard a bad song, and that's why he makes my list, or as number 5. I mean, number 4. Number 5, it's just hard, man, because you guys was talking. I scratched off Biggie. I scratched off Jay-Z. I'm just going scratching these people off, and so I didn't know who to give it to, and I settled on Jada Kiss. That's who I settled on.
Oh, I do like Jada.
He's a bad man.
That number 5 could be so many people, but I settled on him today. Because I'm just thinking about, the Rough Rider era and his latest album, how it played. It's just it's timeless. Anything that he dropped, it always seemed to be timeless. It always seems like it's not a bad listen.
Jada is a type.
Man, I'm gonna tweet him, man. I'm gonna put him in a tweet. I'm gonna put you in the tweet, because he needs to hear this part of the conversation. Those are flowers, bro.
Yeah.
I will say this
to me. Go ahead, Reem.
Jada, man, great MC, kills every feature. If you could find 3 whack verses, you are the greatest researcher I've ever seen. My only problem with Jada, though, and the reason why I can't put him that high, is because his albums aren't. I disagree with how your opinion on his albums. I feel that Jada's best album was probably "Kiss the Game Goodbye," because he had the most hunger at that point. He was at his most gutter. I think that over the years he's experimented with radio-friendly songs, and I'm not talking about like songs like "Why." I think "Why" was an idea that worked out, and that was really dope for him. But I don't, he doesn't do anthems. He's not the radio guy. He's the street guy. But again, it's just after "Kiss the Game Goodbye," man. The albums as a whole was just. They were good singles. They just weren't good albums.
So, if we were rating this category on best lyricist, Jada would be number 1, number 2 for me, because I like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm a Southern dude, so me giving an East Coast dude that props, Jada's up there. Like, Jada is always on my list. And for Gio, I saw Gio post in there the 6-man.
The 6-man.
I like that idea.
So y'all listen to my say earlier. I'm straight from the South, but I named a couple of East Coast cats. But I gotta give it to Nas, and I'm gonna give it to Nas on this one song only. But Nas is still, I mean, Nas, y'all know Nas, but I give it to Nas on the song Rewind. I've never seen anybody do anything like that to this date. Rewind was when I heard that, and my homeboy said, listen to this. And he played that story backwards. That was phenomenal and hasn't been done today.
But my only knock, and here's why here's why Nas didn't make my top 5. Nas didn't make my top. He would definitely be in my top 5. But the reason why, he just picks bad beats. His beat selection is horrible.
But that's East Coast. East Coast didn't have beats.
He said that's East Coast. I will say this much, man. I learned a lot. May his soul rest in peace. I learned a lot from my best friend at the time. His name was Thomas McCarley. I would meet Thomas here in Houston, but he was from Gary, Indiana. I never say this shit right. I remember him sitting me down and making me listen to UGK, because at that point, all I knew was I knew Big Pippin, of course, but I knew
like me
Sipping on Scissor.
When we talking about groups now, that's a group. When we go to groups, my whole list gets blowed up now. But I get what you're saying.
But the point that I'm making, to smash this point, was the beauty of people who grew up on hip hop that was from the South and from the Midwest. They were more open-minded, right? Mm-hmm. And y'all got stuff, everything. Like, there's people who love out of Chicago. I missed that. I missed UGK. So many of these different artists that I would come to love today through, again, through the community. To me, this is community right here. I woke up in the barbershop I've never been before. I'm part of the community now that we're all discussing, right? So these names always come up, man. And, again, I think women get so devalued when it comes to hip hop, because one of the things that made LL Cool J cool and kind of watered him down was the fact that ladies did love Cool James. They supported him twice, 3 times, maybe 4 times more than males did. You know what I'm saying? So if you can rock a party and you could get, no bars, and the women that I follow on Twitter and stuff like that, like they quoting Conway, you know what I'm saying? Like they quoting street bars, and I'd be like, yo, that's the most incredible thing. So they have an impact on moving these numbers and making these artists successful.
Yeah, women. I mean, it's just, that's a formula, a true and test formula. You know what I'm saying? It's like ladies' night. If you bring all the ladies in, the dudes gonna follow, and that's just a true tribe, form. If everybody followed that formula, I think they all would be great. But sometimes they want to stick to their genre. This is what I am, and I don't really put that in my music. But if you add the ladies in it, they will. And, they say you build it, they'll come. Add the ladies, they'll come.
Yeah. Well, remember, I don't know if you know, but Jermaine Dupri used to say, going back to Smash's point about putting Jeezy up there, the way that Jeezy and them used to break records is taking them to the strip club, and if the girls danced, they knew they had something. You know what I'm saying? So
it's regional.
Yeah,
and Jeezy is one of my all-time favorites. But when we're talking about, for me, everybody has their internal checklist, right? Of what makes their top 5. Jay-Z don't make my top 5 because I think if Biggie and Tupac would have lived longer, I think he would have had his niche, he'd have had his path, but it wouldn't have been as big of a path because there'd have still been, King 1, King 2, and he'd have been playing that backstage for him. So that's kind of why I don't put him in my top 5. Biggie, I love Biggie. It was definitely good to when I went to the club to listen to it. He was definitely a lyricist, but I didn't pick because he didn't. With him and Pac, it comes down to who I related to the most, and I related to Tupac more than I related to Biggie. So that's why he didn't make my top 5. But it's I'm with you, Reem. It's you know, it's everybody's palate. It's what tastes good to you. You can't knock somebody's top 5 because I like out of Wu-Tang, my favorite is Method Man out of all Wu. You know, but
me too.
It's what you know. It's what your flavor is.
Such a deadly pen, man.
Yeah,
such a deadly pen. But I feel like with Meth, I feel other artists bring out the best in Meth. I think if you were to really sit down and bust down his catalog, especially like, you know, I would say bar for bar because that'll take you forever. But if you sit down and you listen to Method Man albums and you listen to like a Method Man and Redman album, the quality of Method Man you get on Blackout versus the one that you get from Tikal 2.0, it's not the same dude, man. 2.0 is nasty, but this dude over here don't want to get beat. And Redman is just, you know, again, he's part of that top 5 of, you know, Redman, a Jadakiss, a Cannabis. You know, Cannabis was retarded when it came to freestyle rap. And that's where Redman shines, man, is his ability to be that funk Dr. Spot, that brand that we know. With Method Man, he is so much better to me when he's being challenged and featured against somebody because he doesn't want to get bodied, and he normally don't.
I agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. He definitely, when it comes to him, okay, it's time for a verse, and it's versus it's with a counterpart. I think he definitely shines bright that way. I definitely agree with that. I think that's why when he was with Wu, that's what made that first album come out, because he was in that cipher all the time. You know what I'm saying? So he had to pull out his best work, and that album was the culmination of it. Then when he got with Red, it's just him and Red is like one of those groups that you like. If you think of a group, they are in your top 5. Meth and Red are in your top 5 because how they play off each other musically, it's seamless. It's seamless, like they were born to do it. But we get long in this show, so we're gonna wrap this thing up. And I definitely want you to give us some stories, man. You being a New Yorker and you knowing the ins and out of Jam Master Jay. He had a birthday last week, and we definitely want to honor him. Throw us out with some good jams here, Reem, about Jam Master Jay.
Oh man! First off, I got the Rolling Stone cover that hangs up in my house, is in the dining room right now. I am a Run DMC fan. Run DMC, hands down, is the greatest rap group ever. Number one on my list. What made them so special is that they came from really humble beginnings during a time in hip hop where you had groups like Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five that was really reigning supreme at the time. You know, this is a time in hip hop where, you know, our hip hop superheroes was dressing more like Rick James and other rock stars than they were, you know, like when Run DMC came on the scene with their derbies, the black leather, the jeans, the sneakers, and that style was actually emulated from Jam Master Jay. That's what Jam Master Jay was rocking. You know, during the time of their of the group's inception, it would be Russell Simmons that would say, yo, y'all gonna dress like Jay, you know. And if you watch documentaries that's based on just Jay, you know, everybody was safe in the beginning. Like, he was always fresh, he was always fly. So their signature look was actually Jam Master Jay's, you know, that was his whole style. As far as a DJ, he was second to none. Back in the days, you had to earn the names of Grandmaster. You know, there's actually only 2 Grandmasters in hip hop. The first Grandmaster's out of Queens. That's all I'm gonna say. We'll get into that a month later. But you know, you had to earn that title. So being a Jam Master, you know, you couldn't just, oh, that's a catchy name, I'm gonna rock that. You had to earn that. That had to be respected. So, you know, he came up in Queens, you know, being a dope If you look at albums like Run DMC or like what's it called? Raising Hell, I believe is two of their best albums. That's where you get a lot of his production, a lot of his scratching is on that, and you know, it's not a mistake that other DJs that came up behind him, like Premier, DJ Capri, all took something from Jam Master Jay as far as him being a turntable wizard. Just incredible, B. And then, as a producer, remember Jam Master Jay is responsible for Onyx. You know what I'm saying? Like they were signed to Jay. They were signed to his label. 50 Cent was signed to Jam Master Jay's label right before he was murdered.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
Right. So he was great with finding talent at the same time. Onyx would grow to be Onyx made such an impact immediately, with them being bald head and them being loud and the fuck you approach, that shit was crazy in the 90s. And Jam Master Jay was responsible for that. If you think about the last album that Run DMC made, all of them were rocking bald heads at the time. Fast forward to Onyx, how they look. They almost was a harder version of Run DMC at the end of the day. So the only thing that really rocked me as a fan was losing him in the way that we did, with him being murdered, the way that he was in his studio. The word on the street at the time was it had to be somebody that was close to personal to either know where he was and to be able to get that close to him. And then to find out last year the truth of it all, that he was actually involved in a multi-million-dollar cocaine deal that went wrong. We did a show on the Reem.
That broke my heart because I didn't want it to be. I wanted to be of all the stories that led up to that. You know what I'm saying? Of the conspiracy of how he passed, but not that he had a hand into his own death. That's what really broke my heart because I was like, come on, man, that's not how I want that picture to be painted once the truth came out,
Right.
And that's why we did a show. We titled the show, basically the show about Jam Master Jay that we did on the Reem Supreme Show was, how did you feel knowing the truth now? Does that change? I had tweeted about it because I was a little wary about doing that show. I didn't want to ruffle any feathers, but most importantly, I didn't really get how the world would take it. So I tweeted about it, and it was one of my most livest tweets. Really? I got a lot of people that felt like, yeah, man, it was dope. It was one of my most engaged posts because nobody felt like it took anything away from his legacy at the end of the day. A lot of people felt like, at this time in hip hop, we don't have a DJ Khaled. You know what I'm saying? No one knew that Jam Master Jay could be a DJ Khaled, or Jam Master Jay could be a Just Blaze. Somebody who goes from production, from doing hip hop to doing EDM, and now he's doing stadium tours, rocking something totally different. Back in this time, we didn't know. So, what do we know? What do we know? We know the streets. And unfortunately, is only a couple of ways out, and he suffered one of those ways out. But it was a great response from the public that it didn't tarnish his legacy. The way that I just broke it down from A to Z, you can't touch him, man. So big ups to the king from Queens.
No doubt. So, and I appreciate. And before we get out of here, Reem, where can the people find you, bro?
Man, the easiest thing is go to our website, www.reemsupremeshow.com. You can actually start following us personally from the website. You'll find the icons if you want to follow us personally. But that's the easiest thing, man. Everything else is Reem Supreme Show, if I'm not mistaken. I know Facebook and Instagram and Twitter is. We talk back. We're doing a giveaway. Anybody that see this picture behind me, we've teamed up with Big Wall Decor. You can check them out at www.bigwalldecor.com. They have hundreds of different prints of different artists. So this one is on me, man. All you got to do is go to our social media platforms, tag 3 your friends, screenshot that photo, DM me on Twitter so I can see that you did that, and we'll send you a question that you have to answer. So, Smash, you guys had an answer yet?
Nope.
I don't.
He didn't
I've
even
been
cheat.
thinking about it.
He didn't even cheat.
I've been writing notes and trying to I've been writing rhymes and freestyling this whole time. y'all didn't even know it. Like, I'm taking notes over here, and I'm like, man, but I'm not even gonna say what I was coming up with, because I want your listeners and your viewers to go ahead and
you were gonna
right answer.
Nah, this one was a giveaway. This one was a freebie. Nah, this one was a freebie. Now, I wanted to do this one on air on purpose, and I'm glad because the answer is in your top 5. So the question was, yes, the question was, what happened to Jerome's niece? If you answered it, so this is just an example. This is the type of question you would get once you inbox us on Twitter. Let me be specific. That screenshot has to go to Twitter, DM at Reem Supreme Show. So the question is, what happened to Jerome's niece? The answer to that question is, Jerome's niece got shot in the head on her way home from Jones Beach. It's from Nas from One Love.
You got to think about it.
Yeah, I got to think about it. Yeah. Hey, yo, guess what happened to Jerome's niece? She got shot in the dome piece on her way home from Jones Beach. It's bugged.
Yeah. So, Smash, did you have that? he don't realize that he muted himself, and I can't unmute him.
Oh, my bad. No, I didn't have that. I'm sitting there. Look, I'm sitting up here. I'm like, dang, that's not what I had. I was up here. Nah, I didn't have
you
that.
Write lyrics out. You think that ain't scratch that out.
Hey, what I have on my paper, I wrote a whole new rap album.
Jerome's niece got shot in the dome piece on her way home from Jones Beach.
Hey, Smash, shout out to Chris. Chris said you really disappointed him on that one.
Hey, Chris, I tell y'all from the start, I don't set no bars. I just spit them. Ooh!
Oh man, my man, he hit me with the puffy line. He said, "Don't worry about writing rhymes. I write checks."
Let's clear it up now. Let's clear it up now.
But now we want to do some giveaways, man. We want to practice the culture. It's more than music. It's fashion. It's art. One of my hip hop heroes is Fab Five Freddy. I wish I could have lived his life. One of the first to do a lot of hip hop, was there for a lot of the first things in hip hop. And so we'll be doing different type of giveaways, whether it's art, whether it's a t-shirt, a sweatshirt. More importantly now than ever, we want to try to do business or support local Black small business as much as we possibly can. So, we find that somebody's, shout out to Absolute Victory Every Day, one of the labels we rock with. Classic Material New York, CMNY. You'll see me rock some t-shirts from them that I picked up. And it's just dope, man. Gucci and all of them are always going to be around, but nowadays we need to empower our own people. So, rock with me. I rock with y'all.
Well, Smash, I was going to give you the last word, but look like Reem stole the show. Nah,
my bad.
Smash, any final word before we get up out of here, bro?
Yeah, man. Thanks, Reem, for coming on, man. And then I also want to send a shout out to Goldie, man. Goldie is always finding the guests to be on the show. Reem, you knocked it out the box, bro. I love organic conversation, and what I'm saying, Goldie is always finding the guests to be the organic conversation, because me and him, we sit down, like, we fuss and cuss at each other. But when we sit down, we had a good conversation, and you just was that puzzle piece that we didn't even know we was missing to the puzzle.
Thank you, man.
You came right in, bro. So I appreciate it. Goldie has the ear for music, and you definitely have that ear for music. Like that's that's your rim.
He's a historian.
So
sit down.
Yeah,
with me.
like
I didn't know that.
For real. Like I'm going. I wrote some notes. I wrote some notes, so I'm going to look up some stuff. But I appreciate, man. Like I always say this, and it's never gonna get old. So don't y'all think that this is a my tagline or whatever. But I love when us black people come together and do this, man, because it just shows like this is just what we do. Like this is the regular conversations we would have on the phone, but now we have a platform to energize and publicize each other and appreciate each other and give each other our roses while we're here. So once again, Reem, man, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate the love from Gio, Chris, Nene, my sister, Candace, everybody that tuned into this, man. Just keep doing it because we all need that love. If we push one another, man, can't nobody push us back.
Word. I support that. That's last word. It's dope as hell, man.
Yeah, he top. Now you the top Reem. So with that being said, much love, and we out.
Peace,
y'all.
Well, you now listening to Talker Brothers Podcast.
Welcome to the Talker Brothers Podcast. Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Talker Brothers Podcast. Talker Brothers Podcast with Smash and Go D.
Go and Smash, you guys doing your
The
thing.
mic is contacted, I attract clientele.
My brother.
Go and Smash, Talker Brothers.
That's right. We ain't worried about nothing.
Y'all are now listening to Talker Brothers Podcast.